Brenda drove up to the family lake house, expecting solitude. Instead, she found a stranger on the dock. The woman was sunbathing, earbuds in, a glass of wine beside her.
Who is that? My son said the house was empty. Who are you? What are you doing on my dock?
I am Stephanie. Patrick said I could stay. Didn't he tell you?
The words hit like a physical blow. Patrick had told her the house was being winterized. Inside, the truth was unavoidable. Mail for Stephanie, clothes in the closet, weeks of occupation. On the mantel, Frank's photograph seemed to say, "I tried to warn you."
Patrick, who is the woman living at the lake house?
Patrick claimed it was just someone watching the place for winter. Brenda let the lie fill the car, then hung up and drove away. Brenda stepped into her empty house, the silence thicker than any argument. She stopped at Frank's photograph, the one where he was building the dock, his eyes full of warning.
He always said the will had teeth. I trusted his paranoia, but never opened the document again.
The next morning, she went to the bank and pulled the yellow envelope from the steel box. Back at her desk, she unfolded the thin legal pages and began to read every line. The hidden clause: any property occupied by a non-family member longer than 30 days automatically reverts to the hospital trust.
Stephanie has been there 47 days. The bill is in her name.
The trap Frank had laid was already triggered. Brenda's hands trembled as she placed the will down.
He knew it would come to this. He trusted me to enforce it.
She stared at the keys on the table. Their weight suddenly transformed into a weapon. Brenda picked up the phone and dialed Patrick. She needed to hear him lie one more time, to be absolutely certain.
Patrick, is anyone staying at the lake house? I got a strange notification from the property manager.
No, Mom. It's empty. I told you. The winterizing crew checks it. Probably a system glitch.
As he spoke, her tablet pinged. A new scanned document from the management portal. The utility bill. Account holder: Stephanie Porter. 47 days of service at the lake house address. Brenda ended the call without another word, Patrick's voice still buzzing in the silence. She walked onto the porch, the evening sky deepening, and stared at the screen. At the lake house, Stephanie poured a glass of Chardonnay and chatted on her phone, carefree.
He gave her the house. The clause is already active. There is no undoing it.
The name on the bill was a tripwire. Frank's will had sprung shut, and only Brenda knew. The next morning, Brenda walked into Mr. Harrison's office with a leather folder pressed against her side.
Frank's clause. I always knew this day might come. Let me see what they've done.
He read the utility bill first, then the yellowed will, placing them side by side on the desk.
47 days. The name on the bill matches the occupancy. The reversion to the Lakeside Hospital Charitable Trust is automatic.
Is there any way to stop it? Could we argue it was a mistake?
Only if every beneficiary, you, Patrick, and the trust, agrees in writing. But that isn't going to happen, is it?
No, Patrick would never sign. He'd rather watch the house burn than admit what he's done. What happens if I simply do nothing? If I leave the clause to work on its own?
The trust will be notified, and ownership will transfer within 5 business days. Frank made sure there was no gray area.
Brenda rose without answering, her hand brushing the keys beneath her blouse. The choice was still hers, but the clock was ticking. Brenda stared at Patrick's name on the screen for a long moment before answering.
Mom, why were you at the lake house? Stephanie said. You came by and interrogated her.
Brenda's voice was calm, but her hand tightened on the phone.
Stephanie, you told me the house was empty. Who is she?
She's a friend. She needed a place for a few weeks. I didn't think it was a big deal.
You installed a woman in our family home and lied about winterizing. That is a very big deal.
I don't need your permission. I have a right to use the house too.
You forfeited that right the moment you started hiding her.
You'll regret this, Mom. Stay out of it, or I'll make sure you never set foot there again.
Brenda disconnected without another word, her face a mask of stone. Brenda spent that night digging into Stephanie Porter, the screen filled with evidence. Credit card statements for spas, resort bills, a leased BMW, all linked to Patrick's accounts. The mess wasn't just in the lake house. It was woven through 2 years of bank statements and lies. The next day, Jennifer's name lit up her phone.
Brenda, I am worried about Patrick. He's been snapping at me, staying late. Is something going on?
He mentioned a big project at work. I'm sure he's just stressed.
It doesn't feel like stress. He's hiding something.
Let me talk to him. You relax, all right?
When the call ended, Brenda lifted the wedding portrait from the shelf. Frank's voice came back to her.
You knew, didn't you? You knew someone would try to take what you built, and you left me a way to stop it.
The wedding portrait was still in Brenda's hands when her phone buzzed again. The caller was Stephanie.
Mrs. Taylor, it's Stephanie. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Brenda's jaw tightened, but she let the silence speak first.
Patrick asked me to help manage the property. He's dealing with some personal matters.
I know exactly who you are, Stephanie.
Patrick warned me you might be difficult. Honestly, you should be grateful I am taking care of the place.
The condescension was so practiced, it barely deserved a response, but Brenda held back the fury.
I've heard enough.
She ended the call and set the phone on the armrest. The decision that had been circling all week finally landed.
She just handed me the last reason I needed.
That night, Brenda stood before Frank's photograph, the one she'd carried in her wallet since his funeral.
You built that house with your own hands. He's trying to give it to a stranger. You left me the only real key.
The photograph gave no answer, but she felt his hand on her shoulder all the same. She set the photo on the desk and picked up her phone. It was time.
Mr. Harrison, I am ready. File the papers. Let the clause do what Frank intended.
Once I submit these, the trust is notified immediately. Ownership will transfer. It cannot be undone.
I understand. Do it.
He paused. Then she heard the shuffling of forms. The machine was in motion. When the call ended, Brenda walked to the window. The moon was high and cold.
He'd be proud. I am sure of it.
The notice from Mr. Harrison reached the Lakeside Hospital Charitable Trust the next morning.
Mrs. Taylor, I'm Sarah Mitchell. Your husband's estate just notified us. We're deeply honored.
The lake house was his heart. It belongs to the hospital now.
Sarah assured her the lake house would become a respite cottage. Brenda simply said, I know you'll do right by it. Across town, Patrick's assistant set a certified envelope on his desk. The return address read Harrison and Associates.
What the hell is this?
The letter was thick with legalese, pending property action, and beneficiary consent, but he didn't read past the first line.
Probably a mix-up. Mom's lawyer likes to stir things.
He turned back to his computer and forgot it entirely. But Frank's clause was already grinding forward, and Patrick had just thrown away his only warning. Before the sun could touch the water, Brenda drove to the lake house one last time. The gravel crunched under her tires, the sound of memory more than arrival. She unlocked the door and stepped into the silence. Frank's cardigan still hung by the coat rack. She walked through the rooms, her fingers grazing the furniture he'd built, pausing at his workshop where the tools lay dusty. Upstairs, the guest room had been transformed. Clothes draped over chairs, mail piled on the dresser, all addressed to Stephanie.
47 days of evidence, sitting in plain view.
She took out her phone and photographed it all. The clothes, the envelopes, the date on the utility bill, still propped on the nightstand. Then a rustle came from the other bedroom. Stephanie was stirring, her morning oblivious. Brenda pocketed the phone and walked out, not hiding her footsteps. The door clicked shut behind her.
That's all I needed. Now they can come for the rest.
That afternoon, Mr. Harrison filed the final paperwork at the county clerk's office. The reversion was now a matter of public record. Then he prepared a certified package for Patrick. The clause, the evidence of occupancy, and the notice of ownership transfer. The next morning, Patrick found the thick envelope propped against his front door.
What now? Another letter from Harrison.
He unfolded the letter, and the words hit him like a verdict. Any property occupied by a non-family member for more than 30 days automatically reverts to the charitable trust. His mind erased through the numbers. 47 days. Stephanie's name on the utility bill. His own signature on the account.
Numb. No, this can't be real. The house can't be gone.
The papers slipped from his fingers and scattered across the floor. The lake house, the dock, the summers, all printed on cold legal stock.
She knew. Mom knew this would happen the whole time.
But the house was already gone, and the final page of the letter informed him that the Lakeside Hospital Charitable Trust was now the legal owner. Brenda's phone rang within the hour. The caller ID read Patrick, but the man who spoke was unrecognizable.
You did this. You and your lawyer. You took my inheritance away.
Your father took it away the moment you moved your mistress in and put her name on the utility bill.
I was going to tell Jennifer. I was going to fix everything.
You were going to sell the house out from under me, Patrick. Frank's will just sold it first. It was automatic. The clause triggered after 47 days. I found out after the fact. But I wouldn't have stopped it even if I could.
You could have warned me. You could have let me move her out.
And let you reset the clock? Not a chance. You made this bed, Patrick. Now you lie in it without the lake house.
Silence stretched on the line. Patrick's breathing was ragged, but Brenda held her own without a tremor.
This isn't over. You'll regret this.
The call hadn't ended. Patrick's breathing shifted from ragged fury to a colder, strategic cadence.
I'll fight this in court. Your lawyer can't hide behind a paragraph no one read.
Try it. Frank added a forfeiture clause. If a beneficiary contests the will and loses, they forfeit their entire share. You'd lose the house and anything else.
A fist slammed against wood on his end. Brenda didn't flinch.
But the house isn't your only problem, Patrick.
What do you mean?
In the silence that followed, both of them pictured Jennifer, her trusting smile, the way she'd stir coffee on a Sunday morning.
Jennifer is having lunch with me on Saturday. She still doesn't know about Stephanie. I haven't decided what I'll tell her over salad.
You wouldn't. You can't destroy my marriage just because you hate Stephanie.
I don't hate her, Patrick. I just refuse to let her take what Frank built. Goodbye.
The anger in Patrick's voice crumpled like wet paper. A ragged breath replaced the threats.
Mom, please, don't tell Jen. I'll end it with Stephanie right now. I'll do anything you want.
On the porch, Brenda stared at the darkening tree line, her expression unreadable.
You've been lying to Jennifer for 14 months, Patrick. What makes you think you can stop now?
I never meant. I was lonely, and she was there. It was only supposed to be 2 weeks at the lake house, but then the lockdowns kept happening.
So you chose the path of least resistance and called it love.
Yes. God, I don't know. I've been an idiot. I don't know how to climb out of this.
Brenda heard the sob catch in his throat. It didn't soften her.
Your father saw this coming. He watched his brothers lose their houses to exactly this kind of thinking. He protected us from you.
The line went dead from her end. The next morning, Brenda walked into Harrison's office for the final time. Her leather folder was heavier now.
It's official. The trust has recorded the deed. The lake house is no longer a Taylor property.
He slid a single sheet across the desk. A copy of the recorded deed, the hospital's name printed in bold.
And the other thing I asked for?
Here. Photos, dates, financials. If Jennifer reads this, she'll know everything.
Brenda took it, the weight more than paper. She slipped it into her handbag without opening it.
Brenda, once you give that to her, there's no taking it back. You'll be the one who lit the match.
I know, but I won't decide until Saturday. She deserves to know, but I also need to see her face first.
Harrison studied her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. He'd seen clients make hard choices, but rarely one so calm. Brenda stood, the envelope secure against her side. The power was hers now, to destroy or to grant mercy. The next evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Brenda's phone rang. Patrick's name on the screen felt heavier than it had ever been.
Mom, I did it. Stephanie's gone. I told her it was over, and she packed and left this morning.
And Jennifer, what does she know?
Nothing yet. I'll tell her myself. I just need time. Please, please, don't say anything at lunch tomorrow.
Brenda let the silence stretch long enough that his breathing became uneven, and she could hear the fear in it.
I'll think about it. Goodbye, Patrick.
She disconnected and walked into the house, the screen door clicking shut behind her, and the evening swallowed the porch before her dresser. With the same deliberate care he used to lay his tools down, she reached up and unclasped the pearl necklace. She laid the pearls beside the lake house keys on the polished wood, two talismans of a marriage that outlived him.
Frank, I hope I am doing the right thing.
Saturday noon brought Brenda to the garden restaurant where Jennifer was already seated, a vase of daisies between them.
I ordered your chamomile tea. Patrick sends his love. He's buried under a work deadline. Poor thing.
Brenda cradled the warm cup and felt the envelope press against her hip inside the handbag. The weight of the ungiven words.
Jennifer, there's something I need to tell you about the lake house.
The chatter around them softened, as if the garden itself leaned closer. Jennifer's fork halted midair.
Due to a legal clause in Frank's will, the lake house isn't ours anymore. It's been transferred to the hospital trust.
What? How? We were supposed to take the kids there next summer. Patrick never said a word.
I am so sorry, Jen. It was out of my hands. The will executed itself automatically, and there was no stopping it.
Does Patrick know about this? Why didn't he tell me?
Brenda squeezed her hand. He was informed. There's nothing we can do now. The answer was truthful, but incomplete, and the envelope in her bag remained sealed.
Why wouldn't he tell me? A house doesn't just vanish. What else is he keeping from me?
I think you need to ask him yourself, Jennifer. Some things aren't mine to explain.
Jennifer's eyes flickered. The late nights, the missed calls, his sudden coldness whenever she mentioned the lake house. A darker picture was forming. They parted with an awkward embrace. Brenda's smile was thin, and Jennifer pulled back quickly, her eyes probing. Brenda slid into her car and gripped the wheel. She had given Patrick the chance he begged for. What happened now depended on Jennifer. She was halfway home when the phone blared. Patrick's name on the screen was already a scream she could hear.
What did you say to her? She just called me hysterical, demanding to know what else I am hiding.
I told her the truth about the house. That's all. I didn't mention Stephanie. You still have that chance.
You are destroying my marriage. First the house. Now you've planted ideas in Jen's head. She's already doubting everything.
I gave you the chance to tell her yourself. She's not stupid, Patrick. She'll figure it out on her own now. Goodbye.
The next morning, the lawn of the lake house filled with hospital staff, donors, and wheelchairs facing the dock.
Frank Taylor believed this home should be a place of healing. Today, his wish is honored.
My husband built this dock with his own hands. His hands are gone, but his intent isn't.
A cancer patient smiled from a wheelchair. Looking out at the lake after the ceremony, Brenda stood by the dock alone, the water lapping at the same boards where Stephanie had sunbathed. Across town, Patrick sat alone in his apartment, the television tuned to the news. The reporter said, donated through a unique clause in the late Frank Taylor's will.
He never read past the first line. Now the whole town was reading it to him. Dad.
The lake house was gone, but for the first time, Patrick understood why. 3 evenings later, Brenda opened her front door to a man she barely recognized.
Jen wants space. She hasn't asked for a divorce yet, but she looks at me like I am a stranger.
You'll have to earn her trust back, Patrick, if you can.
I lost the house. I am losing her. I don't know who I am anymore.
The house was never yours to lose. It was Frank's gift to the future. Now build your own future, if you are willing.
She held the door frame, her knuckles white, the keys pressed against her blouse.
I love you, but I can't fix this for you.
Patrick nodded once, his throat tight, and turned toward the street. He walked down the porch steps, his shadow stretching long under the streetlights. Brenda closed the door and leaned against the wood. The keys dug into her skin, a steadying weight. A month after that night, Brenda sat on the porch of the respite cottage, a quilt over her lap and the lake stretching before her.
You are always welcome here, Brenda. Frank's name is on the sign, but this place still holds your fingerprints.
It's strange. I don't feel like I lost anything. I feel like I finally gave it away the way he intended.
The lake was the same lap of water, the same angle of light, but the weight had lifted. A young woman with an ivy pole had set up an easel on the grass, painting the light on the water. Brenda watched her dab ochre and blue onto the canvas, the strokes slow and deliberate.
This is what he wanted. Not an asset, but a sanctuary. Frank would love this.
She looked at the sign, Taylor Respite Cottage, and the name meant more than it ever had. The keys in her pocket felt less like a weapon now, and more like a promise kept. Brenda returned home as the sun dropped behind the oaks, the house quiet as a held breath. In her study, she sat at the desk and uncapped Frank's old fountain pen, the nib steady in her hand. She wrote, "Patrick, the cottage is open to everyone. I hope one day you'll walk its halls and see what your father saw. Love, Mom." She folded the note once, then twice, the paper creased with intention. She rose and walked to the dresser, placing the note against Frank's photograph, the one from the dock, both of them laughing. Beside the frame, she laid the white rose she'd brought from the cottage and the keys that no longer felt like a weight.
I did the right thing, didn't I?
The room gave no answer, but the evening light swelled through the window, gilding the rose and the keys. The camera drew slowly back, the tableau holding as if time had decided to stop, and the screen faded to black, leaving behind only the scent of a rose and the echo of a promise kept.